First of all, please mark your attendance in the chat box or may I say in the description link provided. I request all of you to first of all fill the attendance provided in the chat box, provided in the description link, right? Then we'll start the session shortly. Okay, then let's start with today's session. So first of all, on behalf of AKGEC, I welcome you all on the Android Study Jams by Kotlin, and these have been conducted by Google developers. And a very good, a very warm welcome and a good evening. So my name is Anshika Bajpai, and I'll be your Android facilitator for this course. And hope you all enjoy this course. And today will be the last session that we'll be conducting. So, in order to maintain the right criteria for the attendance that we have already mentioned, it is necessary for you to join today's session. Thank you. Then we'll begin. So, as I have said earlier, if you have any queries regarding to the previous sessions or the day before previous sessions, if you haven't watched them yet, you can watch it. The recordings are available on the links on which the live stream have been conducted, right? So you can view it there, and then we'll begin with the session 3 that will be based on the prior programming track, unit 2. And as far in the meantime, you all fill the attendance form that is provided in the link in the description. So a quick recap of all the course which we have conducted till now, and then we'll be starting it. Okay. So what are the Android study jams? A brief intro about it. Android study jams are community-based, organized study groups for people to learn how to build the Android apps using the online training course, right? Then further, what was the prior programming track? It's basically deals with the essentials that are required for in Kotlin programming language, right? They learn the fundamentals of the Android development and the best practices that are required to build a variety of Kotlin apps, right, in Android. So that is all. We have previously also discussed about what is Android Studio, where it is available to download, and how you will be able to download it, right? So we have all discussed that. For these topics, you have to be familiar with the GitHub a little bit, which you can refer to the videos. If you do not have still cleared the doubts, you can ask me in that case. And rather than that, you should also have a prior programming language experience in the object oriented programming language that I've already told you. So it's just a basic prerequisite. You should be familiar with Android Studio. So I have already told you about the Android Studio, what it is. We have also talked about how to connect to view the app in the real time. You can use the Android emulator or the Android, or you can also use the USB debugging method on your phones for that sake. And these are just the basic tips, but it's better. I've already told you before also that Android USB debugging method is a much more convenient method because Android Studio is a heavy software to deal with. Then the curriculums, there are only two curriculums, Kotlin Cones and the Android Cones Fundamental. If you require the PPT, you just ask me. I'll also provide this PPT to you all guys. You can just brushen up the concepts with it, and then there is this prior programming track experience. Now for today, we have already completed Kotlin Cones. We have also covered how to build our first app, that is the Hello World app, how you gonna do that Hello World and implement it in on your phones. So we have most of you must have covered it also. Then the next activity we have covered, the pathway 2 we have covered, was build an interactive app, where we just created a basic anatomy of an Android app project, how to add images to your app, and how to create a backward compatibility of an app while creating a dice roller app. So that was all about what we have created, what we have done till now. We have also talked about the basic functionality of the layouts which were being provided, right? The basic layouts that were being provided, and those basic layout, how do they work, right? So but what is, why are the layouts important? That was first of all to create different types of layouts to act a better user interactivity. Means in order to maintain a good user interface, we were using those layouts, and to implement data binding or abstraction in creating two apps or three apps or the multiple kinds of apps, we were using layouts. Layouts are basically linear layouts. We have also recycler view layouts. We have also different kinds of views and different kinds of layout to build the user interactivity. Then the another topic which we'll be discussing today is about navigation. Learn how the multi-screen navigation works by creating a fragment. So here what happens, that we create fragments, we create different kinds of uh, fragments and define the navigation paths. Navigation paths means how you're gonna scroll, if it's gonna be scrolling down or if it's gonna be changing pages, so how it's gonna work in an application. So everything in an application is connected with the help of an activity in Android, right? So if I have to go from one page to the other, I say that I have to go from an activity 1 to an activity 2, and there is this basic fragments which are available in order to switch from one place to the other, right? From one activity to other activity you have to jump, and there are different kinds of fragments, there are different kinds of activities which help you to in order to make that app. So we will be discussing the navigation component, which is learn how the multiple screen navigation works by creating a fragment, define the navigation paths, and start an external activity through developing a trivia app. So we will be creating a trivia app with the help of navigation. The activity and the fragment life cycles, learn about activity and fragment life cycles, how to handle complex life cycle situations, and use logging to help debug and track the state of the app by creating the desert clicker app that will preserve its state of rotation. So this is all about what we'll be doing in the fourth and the fifth, that is the activity and fragments life cycle and the navigation and layouts. We have discussed three. Now, the sixth is an architecture component, which we'll also be discussing today. That is about learn about the view model, live data, data binding with view model and live data transformations by completing a charades game app. And we will not be discussing this, but you'll be learning this on your own because it's quite a long process for the course to be taking place. So this is the data this is the databases and the recyclers view. So create a database using the room library, use the current routines to simplify the asynchronous programming and display a list with the recycler view in Track My Sleep app. Then we have connect to the internet, the eighth batch, learn how to get an data and images from the internet and display them in the app by developing a Mars real estate app. We will There are also like activities like repository and work manager, where you create a repository, add an offline cache, and schedule the background task with the work manager by completing an app called Dev Bytes, handling background progresses with best practices. Now, you have to just design for everyone. Learn the basics of Android styling system, how to apply the material designs, then principles to the UI of your application, and how to make your app more and more accessible and user interactive. So we'll all be doing this by implementing the Google Developers Groups Finders app. Now, for all these things, you are also provided with the several coding challenges. Now, it's up to you whether you want to improve it or not. But from my side, if I say from a basic learner's aspect, I'll say that you all should do that coding challenge also, because they provide you an edge over others when you work on that, because copying is a simply a very easy task. You just copy some commands, do it like that, you just cram some materials and do. But implementing things side by side, deploying some changes will only help you guys to discover and to learn more and to get benefit the most out of this course. The most benefit or the perks you are getting out of this course is basically how you're going to modify this course, how you're going to implement it on your own way. Because till 25th of January you are getting a most ample amount of time. In fact, this course you can finish it off in 1 day or two also. But it's if we are giving you 25 days or a period of 1 month for this course to complete, then you should utilize that time properly by going through all the coding challenges, going through all the quizzes, earning those batches, and investing your time in that. Because if you learn things from the ground level, then only you will be able to excel more and to get the benefit most of this course. You'll also be getting the certificates for that sake. You'll also be provided with the badges. You will be able to develop your Google profile. So these are all the benefits of how of doing this course only, right? And not only talking about the benefits, you are also getting a deep knowledge of what kotlin is all about. So basic prerequisites were done, and I don't think so this is something to be repeated. We'll move on. So we have talked about the Android Studio. That's a basic tool used by professionals to develop the Android app, right? So there's a lot of functionalities like we implement in Android apps and how we're gonna build it. Second thing we have talked about was layouts. We are creating different kinds of layouts and adding user interactivity to it. We are adding use data bindings or abstraction to it. So these are the different kinds of things you implement in layouts, then Android Studio. Then we have talked about different kind of views. So there was a text view, image view, and button. The hello world is a text view, simple image view showing the image, and then there's a button. There's also radio button. There are different kinds of button which you can toggle button is there, which you can just when you explore things in the Android Studio, you will be more aware of that. And when you use your creativity to develop those apps, this will be more beneficial during that time. These are all the inbuilt functions that are already provided there, and you just have to figure out how to use it to make your app in a better way or to get a good user interactivity. For that, others can access it in a better way. Now, view groups are there, the frame layout, the linear layout, the constraint layout. So we have also talked about this, that frame layout is single layer, then linear layout when you have to implement it line by line using text view and buttons, different kinds of things you can implement. Then there's a constraint layout like we have to implement more than one, then we use this constraint layout in a particular area vertically, right? Not horizontally. Horizontally we can implement, but vertically we can do it like that. So this is the constraint layout. We can use more than in one screen if we have to adjust, right? Then if we talk about the basics anatomy of an app, like if we talk about how to build an app, you just need these kinds of things. First is the activity. The main activity.java, which we have talked about, our main activity.kt, the one we have talked about, that it has containing all the commands of functionality. So when I say that it is containing all the amounts of functionality, means that it has all the functions, the basic things that your app will be having or you will be implementing on your application will be with that only. Then there are different kinds of resources. There are layout files, there are images, there are strings, there are themes, everything that you want to implement. And how, or in order to say, resources just provide you a background. It provides you with a structure to build, which is required in order to build an app. You just provide a structure, but with the help of these activities you provide functionality. Okay, so activities are important in order to provide the functionality to your XML files in the resources. The XML files and the resources are only to provide the structure of your application. So they just provide the structure of the application, while to implement your current state, you use these activities. Then we have also talked about the Android manifest.xml. So Android manifest.xml is only uh, asking you the when you use an app, sometimes it asks that do you want to give access to your device, or do you want to use your device's camera, or do you want to give access to your location. So these kinds of permission you get with the help of this Android manifest.xml, right? Then we have this gradle file. So everything, the permission thing and many other kinds of things you implement in this Android manifest.xml. So every time you have to give permissions to certain kind of things, like you have to access an app, a particular kind of app has to access a particular kind of thing, like for sake a device camera, or a device's camera, or in the sense we say like the location of a person or the location of the device. Then in that case we use this Android manifest.xml. Then we have the Gradle files. What are the Gradle files? Gradle files is basically a bundle which is consisting of all the build materials, मतलब what your app is built, how it's look like. तो ये जितनी फाइलें होती हैं, these are all contained in this Gradle files. Okay, so this is the basic anatomy of a basic Android app. What the things you require in basic, right? And then on you get a number of modifications to it, you become better user interactive UI, and that's all up to you how to make it. Then the logistics of this course, simply these things are we have already discussed. Then we were talking about layouts, right? So create different types of layouts. So this is the batch we were talking about, and what we'll be doing in this. So creating different types of layouts, adding user interactivity, and use data binding. You complete the About Me app, which showcases interesting facts about yourself with a button, an image, and some scrollable text. You will also create the Color My Views app, which consists of a clippable text view and buttons that change color when tapped. So, this all data is what we are going to discuss in this batch 3 when we will be doing the course. Then the navigation. This is the fourth batch we are talking about. Create a fragment, define navigation paths, and start an external activity. So here we will be dealing with how to navigate between pages, like, or how to, I have already told you that pages are the activities. So how to bear with those activities, how to scroll on those activities will be defining in that navigation. Complete the Android Trivia app, which is a game in which the users answer the trivia questions about Android development and can share their results if they can. Then we have the activity and the fragments lifecycle. So this is the fifth batch I was talking about. Learn about the activity and the fragments lifecycle, how to handle the complex lifecycle situations dealing with the fragments, and use logging to help debug and track the state of the app, how the state of the app is working, how to debug that app, and so we'll be implementing basically the login and sign up pages. So we'll be making those in this activity and fragments lifecycle. You complete the desert clicker app, in which a user punches desert by tapping on the images. So the required desert is he wants to eat, he wants to get. He just click by tapping on that image, or he just clicked that image. Every time a desert is clicked, the app updates the number of desert purchased and the total amount of user spend. So this is the gist of what we'll be doing today, and what we'll be covering today. And then we'll be, if the time is there, we'll also be covering more things. Then sixth thing is the architecture components, that is learn about view model, live data, data binding, the abstraction, how it's implemented with the view model and live data transformations. What's a live data? Live data in the sense like we are updating the data, right? So it's in a live mode, and when I update it, you are also able to view it. Similar to kind of live stream which I'm doing, that if I am implementing it right now, if I'm teaching you right now, you are able to see my videos and uh, side by side, right? So this is same kind of thing to it. You complete the Guess the Word app, which is a two-player Sherrod's game app in which the players collaborate to achieve the highest possible score. So this is all about the architectural components which we are going to talk about. This is the basic overview of what things we will be covering today. And after this, you will be um, also be eligible for the batches. So you'll be getting the most of the batches if you are completing this course till in total. So let's get started with the course. I think by now you are all aware that what things you have to be doing. In case you have any query regarding what things you have to implement and you are not clear or sure about it, you can just ask in the chat. You can just ask in the live chat, or you can also ask me afterwards in the WhatsApp group too. Okay. And in case you are not clear with anything, not familiar with anything, not getting the thing which I'm saying, you can just drop in your messages in the chat, live chat. Okay, so now we'll be starting the hands-on experience over the Android study jams. Yeah, so we'll be starting. Then the unit 1. We have already explored the 1 and 2 and a little bit of 3 also, the layouts one. Yeah. Hmm. So now we'll be discussing about what is layout and how we're gonna do it. Mine is completed, but your will be empty. So do it accordingly. So the first code lab, it is written create about me app and learn how to add a text view and an image view to a linear layout. So linear layout, a simple kind of layout wherein everything is changed linearly and in a vertical manner, right? So text view and image view are arranged linearly. Make the layout scrollable with a scroll view. So we'll be using the scroll view, we'll be using the text view, and we'll be using a image view. And this all is in linear layout. So first thing is that we are using linear layout. The second thing is that we are using text view and the image view. And most importantly, the other thing is that we are also using the scroll view to make this application scrollable. So what you will learn every time we are using or learning, you are going through this course. First of all, discover what you will learn. That is how to work with view and view group, how to arrange views in an activity using linear layout, how to use the scroll view for displaying the scrollable content, how to change the visibility of a view, how to create and use string and dimension resources. And the other thing is that how to use that linear layout using Android Studio. So the About Me app which we were talking about, it's containing the basic information and the data is being arranged vertically. So this is the app which I was talking about. It's a basic About Me app, and we'll be having this Alex's hacky and all the stuff is being arranged linearly. We are just adding the data and arranging it. Then simple, start your app, select an activity. The steps that I have already implemented and shown you how to do it in an Android Studio. Creating your project, save location in the required file like a C or a D according to your state. Then selecting the minimum API. Then your About Me app is ready. This About Me will be having a general basic, the first thing, that is the hello world. Run your app and you will see this hello world in your About Me app. So this will be the layout. If you will just enable it in your phone, the real-time thing that it will be showcasing in an About Me app in your phone is the hello world. So the thing is that we will be using the linear layout here. Change the root layout to use the linear layout. So we do not have decided any layouts till now on what will be working. So you have to, so there are the root layouts fixed, like the general layout which we have used before. So we'll be switching it to the linear layout and changing according to our conditions. You also arrange the UI elements vertically, right? So there's the view group. A view group is a view that contains the child views, which are other views and view groups. Views that can make up a layout are organized as a hierarchy of views with a view group as the root. So basically, view group consists of all the views we are gonna be implementing, like the image view, the scroll view, or the post view. So they are the childs. It's consisting of all the views. In a linear layout view group, the UI are arranged either horizontally or vertically. So the data here is arranged either linearly vertical or it's arranged horizontally. So here we have implemented the following changes, converting it into a linear layout. Then task add a text view using linear layout editor. So here's this layout editor. You my screen is visible, I guess so. So in here the text view is there, and you just scroll this text view and you just drag and drop. The process is simple as that. You just have to drag this text view from here and drop it here. You can just and there in the right hand side you'll get the resources. You have just to type the text to enable to change the text which is there. Initially it will be written it is given as text view, but you can change it according to your need. You can just use these kinds of vectors and implement it. So text view is there. Text view, where you want to implement, you just change the size and you can implement it linearly. So the linear layout, there are two kinds of linear layout. I have talked about this. First one is a horizontal and the other one is the vertical. So the horizontal one, we will be arranging it horizontally, and the linear one we will be using it vertically, right? So in this linear layout, which will we be using is a vertical one. We are arranging the matter vertically. So every time you do this, there's a warning instruction that comes to this, that is creating a string view in this, and there's a warning. There's a warning sign, warning icon that comes. To see the warning text, click the icon, and it says hard-coded string text should use @string resource. So you just have to click that. Sometimes clicking only solves the problem, or you can resolve this by the following method that is provided in the videos on slides. You can change the text size, you can name the text, you can implement everything that you want to do with the help of this. So this is how it works. And the first word that we want to implement was Alex is hacky. And the about me app, you see Alex is hacky, and you can just go on scrolling. And you are done with the part of app of writing the first text view. Then we'll be implementing other things. Then styling the text view, padding versus margins. So there is provided basic text information of how things look like. Like firstly, if you can see my arrow, you will be, it's easily visible that first of all there's the content we are getting, right? Outside it we are providing the padding. Then the padding, outside padding there's a border, and outside that border there's a margin, and that's all how the all screen is there. So padding is also of different kinds, like you can, padding is basically trimming in the sense. You can just short add spaces in the sense, so you can just there is in Android you have a padding top, you have a padding bottom, you have a padding start, you have a padding end, and a padding left and a padding right accordingly. Then there are different kind of margins here, like the Android layout margins, the margin top, the all four, consisting of all the four. It's a basic layout margin. Then there's this top, bottom, start, end, left, and right, and accordingly you'll be creating this. Now, it also says that according to the versions of the APIs, these margin varies, right? Like if I say that you are using with, or you are using some another kind of an Android Studio, or you are using another kind of, or implementing some other kind of API that is in some available, or it's not available, right? So it varies in that case. In that case it will be varying, and that you have to keep in mind before making that which kind of API you're going to work with. Then adding a padding, and adding a margin, adding a font. The font text, like what type of font family do you want to use, you can just implement that. You can just extract the style of writing, the text alignment. You can just use these things. And after padding, after providing some kind of padding, is basically providing these spaces, right? And after doing so, you will get this Alex's Hacky in a better way. Then another task is to add an image view, simply as simple as that. As same as how you implemented that text view, you have to simple use this image also and implement it. And you can in a similar way, you're gonna drag and drop that image view, and then you can select the image from your desktop wherever you have saved that file. You can just enable it, and then it will be showing like that. Then the image view is provided there, match parent, wrap content, and these are the things that you write in the width and the height while mentioning them. The width here, we set it to match parent, so the view will be wide as its parent element. The parent element is there, so it will be as vast as the parent element, and the height is set to wrap content, so that the view will be as tall as its content. So it will be as tall as its content. So the image view references the BTN star big on drawable. So you can just see this, and it will be more clear when you all be implementing. So here in when implementing images, there are two things that is to be important. One is the match parent, and what is wrap content all about. So match content says that the view will be as wide as its parent element, and wrap content says that the view will be as tall as its content. तो जैसा content tall होगा, you will be implementing this wrap content, and if the content is wide, you say match parent. So this is the differences between the two, and sometimes we use both match parents, and sometimes we use both wrap content also, and sometimes we can use them both in a combination to each other. And that's how you run your app. You get the content, you implement margin, you implement borders, you implement padding through it, and that's how it works. Then adding a scroll view. Basically, if you see here, it is also shown that a scroll view is a view group. We have talked about view group, and we have talked about a view. So basic views are implemented. View is basically a child, and view group is basically a parent. So view group is consisting of all the views. So if we say a scroll view, so scroll view will be implemented outside this linear layout, and will be consisting all of the text view, image view, and any type of views that we are implementing. A scroll view is basically a view group. It will contain all kinds of views that are available as it is visible in the screen. This is how it's done. Similarly, we are adding match parent or wrap content depending upon the functionality which we are going to implement or how the app work. So with the help of this, uh, you can see how the app is working. There's a GIF also, a scrollable GIF available here. Again. So this is how all it's working about the About Me app. and it's Alexis Hacky. Hi, my name is Alexis. I love fishing and all. So so there's a GIF also provided to make this explanation in a more better and a more convenient way. And this is how you'll be implementing a scroll view. So simple things, two things to be remembered about this app or how this app was made. First thing is the scroll view. It's a view group. And similarly, the other things like text view or the image view, these are all the view. Next, solution code is also provided if you want to take. It's provided in the GitHub. In case you are not able to do that or miss some kind of things, you can just view the solutions code. Then there's a coding challenge also available for you guys. You can just skip those coding challenges if you like, because they are all optional, they are not compulsory, but it will be good if you do these coding challenges. It will help you better to get to the course. Then there's a summary provided, what is a view group, the linear layout, the scroll view, the style, how to style that. Homework is also provided. Then we are done with this. So this is how we add a text view, an image, some other kind of text, and how it is done. Then add user interactivity. Then so adding user interactivity to an app means how to make it a convenient way so that a user is able to be well versed with it. How is he able to get that app clearly or to get the basic idea? Means while opening the app, he is able to draw a picture of that app, a bigger picture. Now, what you will learn from this, how to get a user input using a edit text view, how to set text to a text view using the text from the edit text view, how to work with view and view groups, and how to change the visibility of view. So these are all things that we are going to implement. Simple app is there. Here, instead of this app, we have provided the About Me app and we are just using a text. But instead of this, we are going to implement the About Me too, in which it'll ask that what is your name. So instead of implementing the text view, we'll be using some other kind of views and we'll be using how it is, so that every time you can enter a nickname and you're gonna update it likewise. So this is the layout of the application you will be building in this module. Add edit text for the text input. So this is the GIF, how it's working. So it's a simple that user can't change the text what it is writing, but when we uh, implement an edit text, right, here it is written. So using the edit text, how it is done. Similarly, instead of text view, we'll use a plain text. And this plain text simply helps you to write your name. Okay, you can enter your name in that section, or likewise anything like you want to enter. So, and you can put up a question like what is your nickname, so it will ask what is your nickname, or if I say what is my name, so it will be representing what is my name. So it will is totally dependent upon what you want to write. And similarly, each kind of thing will always say a warning sign will be implemented. There will be some hard coded text, you have to just correct it. Initially, the layout is match parent and wrap content for width and height. So you have to, because it's as tall as the content and as fit as the parent. That's the view behind match parent and wrap content. So in this layout, it's clearly visible that you can enter the name and then the name it's follows. Then the next thing, style your edit text, right? So basically styling your edit text means like adding styles to it. How can you add a style to it? Or so in the styling only, you mention that what the content you want to implement. So basically your styling is done, text, password, phone, and you can implement these kind of things here. So add a button and style it. You can also add a button and you can style these things. Like here, we'll be adding a button. Similarly, in the drag down view, you would also be provided the button also. So you can use different kinds of button. In case I have to implement something or in a MCQ type question, then I'll be using the radio button too. So there are different kinds of views and there are different kinds of buttons and things which will be provided, and that's how your work is done. So getting text, writing. Okay. Now what this click listener is doing, these are basically the basic things which you should know before you are going to start with this programming. And click button. Now, if I add this click button, so when I click this done, so my arrow is pointing, and when I click this done, it will send me a response. It will send me a message in that case, or it will just provide me a, when I tap this, I'll be getting some kind of message that this work has been done. So that output or the response that I'm getting, it is because of, yeah, so it is because of this. Then hide the keyboard. So this is also the functionalities we are implementing, just a bit of commands and how we're gonna uh, making it a better user interactive. Same app is there, and how we are gonna make, firstly we are creating a basic one, then how we're gonna edit it and implement the changes. So similarly in this app we are done with, we have added a text view that we can edit. We have added a done button, which on tapping we get a signal to it. Next, it's done. Summary, edit text, use of it, and we are done this with too. So by now we have implemented two things: use a linear layout with the layout editor, add user interactivity, and then we have use constraint layout with layout editor. Similarly, the constraint layout also works. Just the difference lies here that you can implement it side by side also. Means you can not only implement the content like in linear layout, you can only add it linearly, but in the constraint layout, you can implement it side by side. Then we have will be also implementing the data binding or the abstraction. So this was all about the layouts. Then we'll be talking about the navigation, the things that I wanted to clear off. That's why, yeah, yeah. So navigation, we are creating a fragment, import the starter code for the Android trivia app, then create a new fragment and include it in the layout file. So take CodeLab for that case. Yeah. So welcome, and here what we are gonna learn. So how to add a fragment statically to your app. So how we gonna add this fragment? This will be learning with the help of this concept. So an app overview. In the three code labs that make up the lesson, so we are talked about layouts and the other things too. So now we'll be implementing this fragment work. How this fragments is working. So this is, we are gonna implement 3 pages. Firstly, this Android trivia play. Then the second page will be having mark a layout for the data binding. And the third is consisting of the Android trivia and this major app. The Android trivia app illustrates the navigation patterns and control. The app has several components. In the title screen, it's been shown. So you are also implementing a drawer in a third case. Then firstly, basically the Android hello world is printed. So we just remove that, and then we are gonna implement the fragments according to our own need and requirement. We're going to create a main activity, and in the layout we are saying a linear layout, then add a fragment. So what is a fragment all about? A fragment is basically, it used to represent the behavior or the portion of a user interface or the UI in an activity. You can combine the multiple fragments in a single so basically uh, in an application wherein you get multiple kinds of with multi panels which you are getting, or multiple activities can be done in a single fragment. or a single page that or an activity. So that is we are able to do with the help of these fragments only. So fragment play a very important role in implementing or in drawing the UI of an application. So summary, first of all, what we have did here, using the fragment tag, we are going to implement a fragment, we are going to create a fragment, and and the XML layout file. So how it's done. So basically fragments हम क्यों use कर रहे हैं, that is more important because it's in order to provide a good user interactivity. Then external activity and a quiz is provided, navigation paths. So this is all about the fragments to provide navigation or in order to provide a better UI by implementing panels, multiple panels in a single activity, right? You are using fragments for that case. Then so we have talked about this and how the fragments work. So by now, I guess you are all aware about what is an activity, the basic terminologies of the Kotlin we are talking about. What is an activity? What are the Android manifest files? What are the basic XML files that we are going to work with? What are the basic fragments? Why do we need a fragment? These things are all to be clear by now, because fragments and the image views, the different kinds of views we are using, the different kinds of view groups we are using. So these are a lot things we have covered today. We have also covered about what a navigation is, how we want to do that navigation, and with the help of the fragments only, and how these fragment life cycles are concerned with, the activity life cycles are concerned with, and most importantly, how we're gonna club these things together in order to make a better view of these applications. So this with this we completed the portion of our three to four topics which we have talked about. First the layouts, then the navigation, how it works. So layouts, how to get a better user interactivity, but the best way to do that was to add the work with fragments and to get a better user activity. Then we are also use the fragments life cycle, the activity, and the architectural components. Then congratulations all y'all, you guys will be able to implement this and you'll be getting a number of badges for that sake, and you'll be able to complete this course wonderfully. Then let's get started. You can start it now in a day or two, or it's up to you, but you have to complete it by 25th of January. Okay, so by now, in the meantime, please, it's mandated for everyone to have who have attended the session to please fill the please attendance form in the description link. And if you have any questions regarding today's session or the previous session, or please put in the live chat. You can also discuss it with me afterwards in the WhatsApp group, or you could just in, drop in your queries here if you have some. So if you have any queries regarding the session, or if you we would be happy if you will drop it in live chat. So thank you from my side. It was really a wonderful time having taken a session with you all guys. And on behalf of DSC-AKGEC, we are thank you all you guys, and I myself Anshika Bajpai would like to thank you all guys for coming and investing your time in this session, and wish you a very happy uh, Kotlin stay here with us. Thank you. Now we're gonna end this session. So if there's no further any questions, we'll be ending the stream in a minute or two. Thank you.